Well, welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. I am Joy Ruffin, and my work with you is as a leadership and signature style specialist. Working in the fashion and the entertainment and the communications industry, it's exciting because there's so much to share with you. But today, I'm bringing you a featured guest speaker who's going to be talking with us all about dreams. Dreams. We're going to be talking about dreams and transformation and what and how they can work to you and with you to your advantage. So, all I want you to do is just sit back and relax. But before I bring my featured guest speaker up, I want to share with you a little bit about her background because I know that what you want to know is how is she going to support, guide, and help me? Well, Sheila, and she helped me with her name, the last name. You know that I have a issue with pronunciations. Balgobin, Sheila Balgobin, is a dream decipherer. She helps you to answer those questions that maybe you're not sure or positive about. She's a fifth generation dreamer. She helps you to find a remarkable gift that you can interpret from your dreams. And her way of doing that is vastly different from what most of us have discovered to date. You're going to find that this conversation that Sheila and I are going to be having today, and by the way, is it good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, and maybe to some of you, good night. Wherever you are, we're always sending you much, much love and all the best. But now, sit back, relax, buckle up, as they say, and gather whatever makes you comfortable and help me welcome our featured guest speaker, Sheila Balgobin. Sheila, as they say on the telly, come on up. How are you?
Hello, Joy. Thank you for having me. We've been anticipating this for quite a while, and it's finally here. So I'm looking forward to the conversation.
So am I, because we had a little bit of a conversation before, and dreams are something that can mesmerize you in the best way, especially when you're not sure. So, Sheila, before we get going with the nuts and bolts, tell us how you came to be the dream decipher. When did this begin for you?
Oh, well, it's a gift I was born with. I'm a fifth generation dreamer, as I call them. Where the women on my mother's side were gifted with the ability to use dreams in some way to help other people. My particular take on that gift is to be able to understand the meanings of dreams. My now late sister used to dream, have money dreams for people who were in dire straits. I mean, so
Mm,
we all had different takes on how we that dream ability manifested. But
hmm
I first really became aware of the this capacity, if you will, for dreaming when I was 8 years old, and I had a dream that scared the daylights out of me because the next day, following a fire that left one of my aunts and my six cousins without a home due to an electrical
mm,
fire.
hmm
The next day, another aunt came by and told us, gather all this stuff, whatever you can spare because Aunt Daphne and the kids got burned out last night. And it just kind of my chill just ran down my spine because what I had dreamt in terms of the details was exactly what was told to us the next day.
Wow.
So I shied away for a very long time from talking about dreams or telling
hmm
people that I had this ability. I mean, as a kid who was a bookworm who had thick glasses, and to tell people that I worked with dreams as well was just like a bridge too far. Just it's like no, that's too much to bear. But I mean, interestingly enough, looking back at that incident as an adult, I would actually say that it was remote viewing that I was doing because when my other aunt came to tell us about the fire the next day, um, she gave the timeline she gave was almost exactly the timeline that I had, because when I woke up from this dream, I looked at my clock, and the time was almost pretty much the same. So,
Wow.
I mean, in that sense, I was actually doing remote viewing rather than actually having a dream. But at 8 years old, to me, it was just a dream. Um, and it wasn't until many years later, at a retreat, a women's retreat that I went to in
Uh-huh.
Marrakesh in Morocco,
Yes.
that the penny finally dropped, that not only did I have a gift that people would be interested in, but the course that I had sitting on my shelf for nearly 3 years could
Wow.
actually be used and monetized to teach people how to work with their dreams. And from then on, things have just kind of progressed from there, slowly and steadily, but progressed.
Fascinating story, Sheila, and thank you for sharing it because at that 8 years of age, it is somewhat scary. Even though you're born with it, you discover later, and it is a generational kind of thing. And that DNA, it's there, regardless of when, where, and how we think. So I get it, but by the same
Right.
token, when you went to this retreat, you were able to see, feel, and get more into what you are here to do. I think that's admirable. So how have you been able to support people to find the power in dreams that can change their lives and their businesses in the best way? How are you going about that today? Transformation.
Well, I can give you, yeah, a couple of examples from my own life, and then a couple from clients. In
Yes.
terms of my own life, my dreams have brought me brought me my husband, my second husband,
Mhm.
after we had been apart from each other in different countries for several years. We came back
Uh-huh.
together and had a 25-year marriage until he passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
Another dream saved my life, literally. I've had clients who have gotten important health information with regard to through their dreams.
Mhm.
I've had people get questions answered by their spouse that they
Ooh.
asked in their dream. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
mean, their dreams can have various purposes and serve various functions. And the more neuroscience that's being done, and even
Mhm.
quantum theory is opening the doors with regard to understanding the purpose and process of dreams. It's not just an adjunct of sleep, but researchers are starting to recognize
Yes,
that dreams in and of themselves have an importance. So, yeah,
absolutely.
it's it's been a fascinating journey. I mean, I my dissertation for my master's degree in psychotherapy, I linked vibrational healing, Jungian theory, and and quantum theory. It was a real tour de force, I have to admit. But
I,
it was it. I mean, I almost did. They almost didn't let me didn't let me write the tag one thing, and
oh
it
my
was like,
goodness.
listen, no, I had to fight. And it was like, I'm not backing down. I'm doing
Good
this.
for you.
You just have to like adjust your thinking.
Well, good for you. And I don't think your timing could be better now, Sheila, because I think so many of us are waking up in so many different arenas that we weren't gung ho sure about back in the day, so to speak. But you know what, Sheila? I want to go back to piggyback on something that you said, because I know that this universe is built on the language of love. And you mentioned that, and sorry to hear about your second husband, but you met him through and after. Share with us a little bit more about that because everybody loves love. So share with us how that all came about, as much as you're open to, because love is universal. Everyone gets it.
Yep. Well, my second husband, I actually met before my first husband.
Uh huh.
Um, so I mean, being a New Yorker, I'm very efficient. It's like, arrange the second husband before you get the first one. So,
Uh huh. I get it.
so,
I get it.
um, yeah, but I had been working for one of the test tube baby doctors, to start to tell my age here, in London, and that's how we met. And we went back and forth for a number of years. I mean, traveling back and forth. But then we kind of lost touch with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but all of a sudden, I started having these dreams. And
Uh-huh.
I was living in Los Angeles at the time. I'd left New York and had moved to LA. And I'm thinking, with these dreams, how in the world am I going to get in this little Irish coracle, a little round boat from
Uh-huh.
LA to London? I mean, I was thinking this in my dream. It was a lucid dream. So I was aware I was dreaming, but it was like, how the hell am I going to do that? But what I did was, I always say the dreams are a call to action.
Ooh, I like
And
that.
my call to action was that I needed to do something to honor this dream in some way. So what I did was
Mhm.
is I wrote a letter to the last address that I had for this man.
Wow.
And as soon as I did that, the dream stopped. I didn't have the dreams. There were nightly visitations, but after I made that decision and dropped that letter in the mailbox, that was it. No more dreams.
Wow.
About a month later, I get a phone call, and it was Rupert, my husband. Well, he wasn't at the time, but
Yes, yes, yes.
the reason why it took so long for him to respond, I had
Uh-huh.
transposed the numbers on the apartment, so
Oh,
his neighbor got the letter, and fortunately they were friends, so he carried the letter down
exactly.
to to my husband, and that started us to reconnect and eventually marry. Where and live in London until, as I say, until a few years ago, we passed away from cancer.
Oh,
So, when I say dreams have the power to change your life, they
yes.
most certainly do, without a
You,
doubt. So yeah,
no
that's my
question
love
about it.
story.
I love that story, and everyone else will as well. And Sheila, what you said that resonates with me, and I'm sure with all of those people who are tuning in now and for the replay, is that it's dreams are like a call to action. I love the way you said that. And also, you gave me that dreams help us make better decisions. So sometimes that might be after the fact and so on, but that's what we'll talk about a wee bit. But you know what you also said, because I already knew, and you just confirmed it because we haven't had a chance to get into the nitty gritty of our own personal. You're like a Renaissance woman. You've been all around London, Los Angeles, New York are hardcore. And so have I. So I no wonder we have this connection. But I love that you said that it's a call to action, but what do you mean when you
Absolutely.
say that dreams help us make better decisions as well? Connect that and give us more on that.
Well, okay. I'll give you an example.
Yes,
Do you know
examples are
the
good.
number one organization that was born because of a dream? The number one. It's
No.
everywhere. We use the name everywhere for everything.
Uh-oh. Oh, I'm
Can't
waiting.
think.
No.
Google.
I
Google.
love it.
Born
Yes.
because of a dream. So the double helix of DNA, Einstein's E equals mc squared, irons, Frankenstein, the novel, hit songs by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. All kinds of things have been created and invented because of dreams. When we were in lockdown, I was living in London. I created a course based on what I was observing during lockdown, because I could see, observing who was actually thriving in that environment, and it was the people who had you talk about Renaissance Renaissance people, the people that were the most resilient and had the most strings to their bow. I had a girlfriend. She's a therapist like me with years
Uh-huh.
of experience, but she's an
Uh-huh.
excellent seamstress. So she was making masks and they were flying out her door. I mean, it was all kinds of things that people were doing. I mean, it was, people were doing paintings. I had friends who were doing photography photography, doing walks with their family in parks during lockdown. I created, like I said, a course. I mean, it can be, you can look at things as either a challenge that you can't get over, or you can look at it as an opportunity. So I no longer have, problems. I have challenges and
Mm,
opportunities,
love that.
and dreams can help highlight those challenges as well as point the way to solutions. And that's one of the many functions that dreams have for us.
I love that because when you give it a succinctly call to action, they awaken something in us that we are to be more aligned with and to be more adherent to what that's trying, attempting to tell us. Then there's the other side of the coin.
Hmm.
I'm going to take a quick little reset, but I'm going to leave you with this, Sheila. There's that other side of the coin where you mentioned to me in our brief conversation about black cats and dreams that aren't so favorable, and you have a different interpretation. So after I come back from the reset,
Hmm.
I want you to give us your take on some of the, I don't like the word bad or ugly interpretations about some dreams, and you can share with us your insight on those. So hold tight. My engineer's going to scoot you away for a second, but I'll be right back. In the meantime, my League of Eagles, you know that I've given you this new name, and I do love it because only the Eagles arrive here. Sheila is one. Why, if you're not, have you not joined our group? Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. Only the Eagles are there. Because we are all about sharing, as Sheila is doing with us today, your vision, your mission, and your purpose. Because this is where we all come together in a community and we're able to unite and connect with and collaborate with others. So never forget that your vision, your mission, and your purpose, which is what Sheila is sharing with us today on a different avenue, a different plane, but it all winds up in the same community. This is what you're about. And then there's also a group or platform that I'm now forming. It's YouTube and it's called the Great Discovery is a group that I want you to join. It's called Fashioning Femininity. Okay, let me go back here. It was supposed to be my YouTube channel, Fashioning Femininity, Style, and Truth. Take a screenshot or a snapshot and make sure that you go there and connect with us there because we're presenting out a lot of information with you. It's all about leadership, it's all about divine femininity and divine masculine. It's all about the femininity that's innate within you and the power that you come here with. That said, if my engineer will put up my guest, her graphic, take a screenshot, take a snapshot, because by the time we're finished here, you're going to want to connect with Sheila Balgobin. Free initial dream consultation, because you're going to be able to get into a lot of maybe the questions that you had about dreams that you're having. Because if somebody has a secret sauce, she does. And she'll be able to support you and guide you in that direction. We'll put this up once again towards the end, but for now, take your screenshot or your snapshot, even though we'll be running this back and forth on all the different social media platforms. Your assignment, you know we love homework here, is to go there and to get that link so that you can connect with Sheila. And now back to you, Sheila. Let's go into the area that no one, a few, I should say, want to talk about. What are some of the bad misinterpretations about dreams that you are able to help people to know? Not necessarily that. And we'll just take the example that you threw out at me, which stuck in my craw, a black cat. What does that mean? And some others that you've come up with.
Well, I mean, the only, I would say, real commonality, because psychologically we're all connected, which is why different people in different parts of the world will
Mm,
come up with the same invention or the same idea. For example, months and even years before 9/11, people were creating artwork and whatnot that showed
mhm.
towers getting hit, that so that energy is in the ether, it's out there,
Yes.
and cyclically we can pull that energy down. So people in their dreams can speak languages they've never learned. They can dream about being in places they've never actually visited.
Mm,
So it's because of that interconnectedness between all species, really, but in particular the human species, we're all psychically connected, which is why I gave the example when before we started of um, a wife who asked a question in a dream, and when she woke up the next day, the husband answered the question. So,
I
so
love
I
that.
mean, and that's because psychically, I mean, it's particularly between people who are close, like spouses, parent and child, or some other close relationship,
Uh-huh.
can dream the same dream, or similar, very similar dreams on the same night. I mean, so you have to remember that dreams function as in metaphors, as
Yes, yes.
if.
As in,
So, I did a live ages ago and put it up on TikTok, and it got like 40,000 hits. Why?
woohoo.
Because the title was, dreams about your friends. It's not all about them. you know and people
Ah,
were absolutely intrigued, so because that the unconscious mind will hang information on things generally that are familiar to us. So it may be a person, it may be a place, it may be a sound, it may be a color, a thing. So to and each symbol is particular to the person, which is why I said,
yes.
a black cat for you is not going to mean a black cat for me. And I'll give you a good
Ooh,
example of that. A black cat, I've always had black cats, interestingly
yes.
enough, growing up. So
Uh-huh.
I think they're quite beautiful and mysterious and all the rest of it.
Me
But
too.
in my dreams, when I was training in psychotherapy, the black cats were my tutors who were like, like getting into my brain and picking at me and doing things. And I just wanted I wanted to wring their necks, and I love animals. But in this dream, I wanted to wring every damn neck of every single
I
single
get
cat
it.
I encountered.
Yeah.
So this that for me, that was my visual shorthand for my tutors, like trying to pick my brain and trying to tell me that what I felt and thought was wrong. And it's like, get lost. So, you know
I get it.
that's what I mean. The unconscious mind is amazing when it comes to um
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh generating an idea, or framing an idea or a situation or a person, or whatever the case may be, whatever the subject matter is. The variety, I'm always fascinated by listening to people's dreams, because I'm always fascinated at how the unconscious mind is creative, and this
Yes,
is
yes,
part
yes.
of why it's good for business people, because it one of the functions of dreams is to be creative, to
Yes, yes, yes,
solve
yes.
problems. So
Sheila, I
yeah,
love the
I
way
mean it's
your
go ahead,
explanation is so
sorry.
no, 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 don't, no apologies. Your explanation is so spot on because you speak about often, and so you should, could, woulda, oughta, the collective. And so the collective, it's a collective, but we are one, but we're all part of that collective. And how we
Mhm.
interpret different things contingent upon our individuality will be different. You said you love black cats and you have an appreciation, and so do I. So I've often wondered about that. But then you can bring in the snakes and all the other animals, or the dragons, and people say, ooh, but it's always contingent upon the individual, is what you're saying. And that I have received.
Absolutely.
Let's go back, because I know the audience. I know people have that insatiable curiosity, just like I do, and you do as well. Give us some more dreams. You mentioned, of all, when you ask about what that was, did not even begin to think of Google as the first name that came up, as far as it came through in a dream. So give us some more famous people that we know, or that maybe we've forgotten, who their great inventions came about because of a dream that and you've read about. We all need to hear that again and again to be more aware of the
Um,
cognitive powers.
well, I mean, there is. I'm trying to think, because there's a number of things,
So
but
many.
um, the I'll give you example of a couple of songs.
Yes, yes.
Again,
Oh, songs are good. Hmm.
there was a bit yesterday by written by Paul
Yes.
McCartney. Of
Yes,
course,
yes,
who is now Sir Paul McCartney. But yes,
yes, yes.
that was inspired by Dream. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones.
I know.
That
Yes.
was inspired by Dream. There was oh, you know what? An interesting fact as to why Google developed um, because of a
Yes.
dream. There was the founder was worried that he in college that he would forget stuff, so he started creating Google. Google was, had this idea that came to him in a dream to gather all this information in one place. Now, they've kind of taken that and run with it because now they want to control every aspect of our lives. That's another story. But I mean, they, to a certain extent, they already do because it's even become a verb.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
so eponymous. You Google information. So
Yes.
it's become part of the language, it's become part of the culture.
Well, you know
So it
what, Sheila?
literally changed the lives of everybody on the planet.
Everyone, most everyone, as my mom would say, and I say this in love now, and most people know with half a brain, you get that. But I have to say, I have this insatiable curiosity and I love learning. And I know, as most of us know about Google, and maybe a few people knew, but I wasn't aware that Google came about because of a dream and how you explained it to us about the guy wanted to remember a lot of the stuff where he was studying. That was new to me. That is new to me. So good for you for discovering all of that. As we end here, how shall we end? Let's dance together with this. How can dreams make us all more aware of how to make better decisions? We spoke to it, or you spoke to it a wee bit, but expound on that a wee bit more.
Okay. I love to use examples because that seems
They're good.
to stick in people's minds more.
Absolutely.
There was a Jungian therapist in his book, talking about dreams and emotional healing, talked about this man who had been approached for with a fantastic job offer, and it was like, so good it was like too good to be true. That
Mm.
night following that offer for the job, had this dream, and he dreamt that this woman, very seductive, beautiful woman, just was coming on to him and coming up to him, coming on to him. And but as she got closer and he looked into her eyes, the color of them was weird, and he
Ooh.
was put off by it. And it was
Ah,
like, oh, the first thought was, I'll have some of that. And then he's like, as she got close, he's like, no,
that's a good
no,
example.
thanks.
Yes.
Now, then, sometime later, when he decided, for some reason, he associated the dream with that job offer. Now,
Ah.
he decided in the end to turn down the job. Sometime later, he found out that the company got done for embezzlement. So,
Wow.
if he hadn't made that decision and followed the feeling that that dream gave him, that was like, I don't need to be dealing with this mess, he would have been caught up in it, because
Love your
the person
examples.
who offered the job was actually, he actually, got arrested for embezzlement. So,
Sheila,
I
I
mean,
love your
that's like a
examples.
case in point.
Well, it's a good one because they say that the eyes are the windows of the soul. So he heeded that something wasn't right, right? Something wasn't kosher,
Mhm.
so to
Yeah.
speak. That's a good example because
Mhm.
dreams can, and if you're using them in a transformational matter, they ought to be able to help you to make better decisions. And it is a call to
Mhm.
action to do that. So I get that. What is it that you love? I know you love it all, and I know you have a passion for it. I don't know you, but I know you. What is it that really lights
Yeah.
you up more than anything when it comes to this dream work that you're doing? Probably everything. But
I
what?
think it's when the light you see that light bulb moment for a person,
Yes, yes.
where, and I've seen this is particularly when I was in training at to working in a group, we would, someone would present a dream and everybody would contribute their particular point of view. Just like if there were five people standing on a street corner in the street and an accident happens, they see five different things because people perceive things differently. So, um I would I would say that, uh having that ability to be able to open a person's mind and actually literally see them like, oh, okay, I get it now. And that happens quite often, particularly with nightmares. Excuse me.
Nothing better than
We were
that.
talking about nightmares. Sorry, excuse
Bless
me.
you. Bless you.
We were
No.
we were talking about nightmares, and quite often when we break them down, I go over it with a nightmare with a client, and we break it down. Usually, their response is that it? Is that all? I was worried about this.
That's a song. I love that.
Yeah, I
I
guess
love
you
that.
were.
Bless you, my dear. You have a sip of water there. Let me just say the time flies here and it's over, but I'm going to ask my engineer to put up your graphic one more time. And I want you to speak about that. And while you're speaking about it, Sheila, tell us a little bit more. Give us your takeaway, what you want people to walk away with, the pearls of wisdom that you want to share with them briefly about dreams. Here you go.
Well,
You,
what I would say, if you want to be able to understand your dreams, you have to start recording them. You don't have to
mm,
write War and Peace. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, this
mm.
tickle got in my
Bless you.
throat.
Something's in the air.
But what
Mm.
you can do, yeah, pollen count is terrible.
I know.
But
I
what
know.
keep a little notebook and a pen or pencil by your bed. You don't have to write War and Peace. You can jot little bullet points. It's going to look like a 5-year-old wrote it. But because 90% to 95% of our dreams are forgotten within 5 minutes of waking up,
Yes.
having those little notes to jog your memory are essential,
Yeah. Yeah.
even
Yeah.
for me. I mean, I have a good memory, but sometimes as you're waking up, you just get distracted and you forget.
Sheila, I think that's a good note to end
So
on
that's
because you said within 5 minutes because you do forget them. You remember bits of it, but not on point. So if you jot it down, however the scribble might be, then you'll be able to maintain and keep it so that you can utilize it later. My lady love, the time is over. Thank you,
exactly.
thank you, thank you. My engineer's going to scoot you away and I'm going to end the show, but this was wonderful. I enjoyed all the information that I gathered. So thank you. Much love. What can I say? The time flies here. It's over. It goes so quickly because every leading lady and featured guest speaker that I bring you, they come with all of this wisdom, this love, and the passion for what they do. And that you can't get without heart and soul connected. That said, the work that I do with you as a signature style specialist in leadership, owning your power, your divine femininity, and the masculine combined, the harmony and the balance of both, that's what we're about. And that's what we'll be doing together. In the meantime, this is midweek. Make it the best week ever. Enjoy every moment, every day, every dream, as Sheila left us with. And then know that we're always here for you. And until the next time, be well. Take care of you so that you can look after all the others who need your love and your wisdom. So much love from my heart to yours. Until the next time, cheers.